fussy cutting with my Brother ScanNCut to make something so adorably cute. That is exactly what we're doing today. Today I'm going to show you how I scan this fabric in, then cut it out exactly like I want it to make this adorable little rope bowl. My name is Courtney Douthat. This is AllBrands After Hours. Let's do this. Project that we're going to do is so easy. If you've ever made one of those rope bowls, so using the fun little rope to make a cute little bowl, that is so fun. We've done it on the show before, but this we've never done, where you actually take fabric and put it at the center of it. Now, I use my Brother ScanNCut to do this because a rope bowl is usually, not always, but it's a circle. The ones that I make are little circles. So I love adding an extra little fabric at the bottom of it to something decorative. Now, I have this fabric right here that I only have so much of, and I can't throw it away. It has to be something. And I thought, how cute would this be in my sewing room with it being a rope bowl to hold, you know, my wonder clips or anything that I have in my sewing room. And I really love this little bitty black machine right there. I think that's so cute and I want to use it. So my idea is I'm going to throw it in my ScanNCut, have my ScanNCut cut a circle and make sure that that little sewing machine is in the circle, because I can do direct cut and I can scan things into my ScanNCut. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this fabric on my ScanNCut mat. And this is my fabric mat. So my gold mat right here is the one that I'm going to use. This fabric has not been treated with anything, so it doesn't have like a starch, material magic or anything in it. It's just straight cotton fabric. So let's jump into our machine. So I'm gonna go ahead and load my mat. What I like to do is I actually like to bring in my own pattern shapes, come down to a circle, hit OK, or set. All right, and then I like to hit this icon right here, which is a mat with a bar through it. That's gonna let me scan in my material and let me see it on screen. So for our particular project, we again can see our lovely design, our lovely fabric, and I can come take the circle and drop the circle right over it like that. Now I know I want mine a little bit larger. I think the base of my bowl, I think I want like a 4-inch. So I'm gonna hit edit, object edit, size, move it up a little bit just to see what it would look like. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So that looks great. I love that size. It's perfectly gonna cut out my little sewing machine. It didn't even catch anything else, so I could use all of the rest of that for something else. I love it. So let's go ahead and hit OK. OK again. OK. Please select, and we want to cut. To be able to cut out just this regular cotton fabric, I am going to use my thin fabric blade. It is your gold blade, which actually matches your gold fabric mat. Alrighty, fantastic. You know, when I get to the screen, you can't see the design, but we know we put our fabric exactly where we want it. And let's go ahead and hit start. So she's gonna come on over here, calibrate herself, and then go cut out my circle exactly where I want it. Now again, if you wanna do a direct cut to cut out and really fussy cut things out, that's great. But whenever I wanna drop a shape like this real quick, just over something, scanning it in, bringing in that shape is fantastic. She's so quick. And she's done. It's so great. I love adding fabric things and little details to any of my rope bowls because it's so easy. All right, now the great thing is I can keep using this fabric, so I don't have to get rid of it just yet. I can find other things that I want to. Ooh, like a little wallet would be cute with this fabric, but I can find other things that I want to sew out of this, and since it cut it so well. All right. I know! How cool is this? How cool is that? That came out so well. It looks so cute. I cannot wait to put this in my rope bowl. Now, to get it off of our mat, it is a very, very sticky fabric mat, so we do want to make sure that we are using a spatula tool because, again, this fabric was not treated with anything. I am going to put a zigzag stitch around it whenever I do my rope bowl, but for right now, I want to make sure it comes off as clean as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put my spatula tool underneath, like this, and wiggle. Now, Courtney, couldn't you just, you know, found something the shape of a circle, put it on top, and then cut it out? Yeah, maybe. One, I can't, you know, actually cut a straight line, or definitely not a curved line. But this lets me hone in on what size I want, and that way I can kind of test it. I realized that I wanted to bring in the size a little bit more so I didn't get as much of the other stuff. I got a bit of another piece right there, but really it came out so well and it centered it really, really well. So I love being able to have that as an option. All right, so let's go ahead. Thank you, ScanNCut, for your help. Let's go ahead and talk rope bowls. So I have this cording right here. I think it's a 6mm. Let's see. Yep, it's a 6mm cording right here. You could do a larger cording or a smaller cording. I feel like this is just, it's nice because it goes through a lot of machines. When you get a thicker cording, some machines, it wants to give you a little kickback. Now, I'm gonna be sewing it on my brother Celeste, and I know she could do a lot thicker than this, but just as a rule of thumb, it might be helpful. To start a rope bowl, what I like to do is I like to take the ends. You could put a little bit of fray check just so it doesn't unravel or anything like that, or you could take some tape like this and then just put a bit of it at the end to seal it up. It's up to you. Usually I use fray check. I don't know where any of my fray check is right now, so we're just gonna use a bit of tape, clear tape, just to seal those ends so we don't have anything unraveling on us. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start winding it around like this. So usually I like to do a little bit tighter than that. There we go. We're gonna wind it around like this on itself. So there's the part that we taped in the center. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna make a little bit of a base. So just a little bit. That's fine if you want to make it that big. And then we're going to sew across and then across the other way, making a little X. If you want to do even more diagonal, that's a-okay too. What that's going to do is it's to secure our base, what we're starting on. So make a little cross. I like to weave it around 2 or 3 times. 3 is probably your best bet. And then again, sew that little cross. We're not just sewing down one way. I know a lot of people just say, just sew down that way. That's whenever it starts doing that, where it pops out of the bottom. I hate that. Just sew it both ways. All right, let's go to our sewing machine. Now, I have my roll sitting right here. I haven't cut anything, so it's all still joined, and whenever I need it, I roll it off the roll. So a lot of times I'll buy in bulk and just keep that big roll right there. All right, so we're gonna sew down the center. And I've got a zigzag stitch on there. There we go. Just to give it a little something to start off with. So there's a zigzag stitch right down the center now. I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to do a zigzag stitch going the other way now. I did change my width to 4mm. Okay. There we go. So now you should have this. So we've got a stitch going down this way and a stitch going this way. Don't worry if you've got any threads out, we're gonna put something over it, but you could also trim those. Now, just for a precaution, I am gonna go back the other way. Is it overkill? Probably. Okay, back this way. So now we should have something that resembles this. So we've got it going this way, going that way, and diagonally. So now there's no of it pulling out of the bottom. That's pretty solid right there. All right, so now let's go actually start making our bowl. Now I'm gonna go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm gonna start where this is open, and I'm going to zigzag stitch back and forth as I turn it, turning zigzag stitch, so that way it touches the outer and the inner to go ahead and make our base. Your base could be however big you want your bowl to be at the base. I'm gonna make mine pretty large because I want to put that fabric in the center of it. So let's go ahead. All right, now sometimes I like to go ahead and stop And I'll make sure that I unravel a little bit of more of this because I don't want any tugging on it. I just want it to come off nicely. It's not raveling in any kind of weird way, but look how fast that center is going. It's going so quick. Now we do have our little fabric over here that I can kind of gauge. Ooh, oh, perfect. So now I know that that's going to be okay and it's going to fit perfectly in here. Now I don't want just the center to be the fabric. I do want a little bit around, so I could keep sewing if I want to, but I want to go ahead and I'm going to backstitch right now. Here we go, and cut. Because I want to go ahead and sew my center. Now, why do I want to do that? Because as I'm sewing my bowl koozie, what's going to happen is I'm going to go out and then I'm going to start going up. And when I go up, it's going to be really hard to sew that center little fabric down that we've created. If you want to back your fabric with like a Heat and Bond Ultra, Heat and Bond Light or something like that, or just a temporary glue, you totally could do that. I'm going to be doing a zigzag stitch around it, and I don't plan on doing anything crazy with it. So I think that's okay. But if you did want to use some kind of adhesive in between those, you absolutely could, even if it's a 505 spray. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead, make sure that's centered where I want it to be. Oh, it's so cute. It is so cute. All right, I'm gonna pick a corner, put it down, and I'm gonna go ahead and zigzag all the way around the circle of the outside of my fabric. That came out so good. Look how cute that is. Oh, that came out really good. All right, so now that I have that, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to where I left off a minute ago. All right, I've got a lot that I want twisty and curvy on me, so I'm gonna straighten it out real quick. That way I don't have to worry about it in a little bit. Okay, go. So this is going to be, I'm gonna stop it. So right here is where I'm going to go ahead and stop. Once I get to that point, because this is how big I want my base to be. If you want your bowl to be a lot larger, then you could totally make it larger. It's really up to you. But this is how big I want my base to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take off the table that comes with my machine, and that makes it more of a free arm. So that way, when I go in a minute to start tilting my bowl up, I've got less to mess with. If you want to go ahead and flip it, because I'm using a cream thread and a cream bobbin, you could absolutely flip it so that way it just goes around here. So that way you're only having to do the bowl right here. You can get a tighter bowl. If I'm having to put my bowl up here and push the material up this way, going out this way, it's going to be a little bit harder for me to do that. So that's why I'm going towards the neck of my machine. But again, if you wanted to flip the bowl over and just have to go around here, you could get a tighter bowl that way. So let's go ahead. And once I reach this part, I'm going to start tilting my bowl up. So now, if you notice it's now pulling up, this is how we make our walls. Stop sewing for a second because I do have another piece of that fabric, and I think what I want to do is I want to go ahead and cut some strips, and then that way I can go ahead and finish the edge with the really cute little French strips. Now if you've ever done this before, all you need to do is cut your fabric. I mean, honestly, it's up to you, 1 inch to 2 inches. Then you weave it around the cording. So it's up to you how long you want them or how wide you want them. It doesn't really matter how long. I do it with scraps, like how I'm doing right now. And I'm just gonna make a few, but just so I can finish off the top of my little bowl with something cute. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut some really quick little strips. I think I'm gonna do mine 1.5. There we go. Alrighty, so we've got our bowl right here, and I've got my strips that I just went ahead and quickly cut out. And honestly, some of them are small, some of them are big, but that doesn't matter because what we're going to do is we're going to take a strip and we wind it around. So I usually like to put one towards the inside like this and then wrap around it. And then that's all we keep doing is we keep wrapping like this, around and around and around. And then as the machine is sewing, it's going to encase those in the zigzag stitch and then make a really fun little edge for our bowl. I know, it's so good. All right, so I'm gonna wrap. Now it's up to you how tight you want to do these. Again, how wide. I've noticed the wider that I do them, the more area I can cover at once, and it makes it go a lot faster. But if you have little bitty scraps that you're using up and they just can't be that wide, that's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and start our machine back again. Okay, I'm going to come over here, fix this, because we want it, not crazy tight, but we do want it tight to the rope. Okay. If you want to put a wonder clip or something like that to pin it right there, so that way while you're over here, you're not having to worry about this, you absolutely can, but I'm just going to hold it. All right, now since I'm coming right here, I'm going to take another strip, there we go, and pop it right over where that one was, and then wind it around. Just wrapping it around. But now this way, the color of that center and some of the, some of the detail, like you can't tell what it was, but like the color story is still there, which is great. So really, this is a very fun little scrappy project. because I think just that border edge with it being on there twice is so cute. So I think that is probably what I'm going to do. I'm really debating on going around 3 times because I have a lot of these strips that I could use and it would be really cute. Now, if you don't like the frayed edge, which I really, really do, you of course could just go ahead and fold the sides of your strips and then iron them like this so that you have no raw edge like that, and then wrap them, and then that would be great. But I love the look of that raw edge on there. It's so cute. Twice, and that is so cute. I really am tempted to go around again, but no, I don't know if my strips are going to be enough, so I might have to go ahead and stop it. Alright, now the last thing I want to do is actually add a little loop to it. I could just sew off to the side like this, you know, underneath, and then sew right there, cut that, and it would totally finish the bowl and it would be adorable. But I want to go ahead and create a little loop that's like this. It's that classic, you know, rope bowl kind of technique on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut one end, depending on how big I want that to stick out. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to wrap it because I want it covered in the fabric. All right, keep going. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to rope, cover, like this, until I can't go anymore. Okay, cut off the excess. All right, and this actually goes back inside of here. So I'm gonna roll it right back into there. What we're going to do is we're gonna close up this area that we just had, you know, normal, and then I'm going to come up to here, and then I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to close those. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to go up to it. I'm not going to go all the way to the top because I still want to, you know, be able to open it. All right, back stitch. Just to lock it in. Cut. Okay. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to sew up to here. There we go, backstitch. How cute did that come out with the little hand? Yeah, you don't have to do that, but I think it's so stinking cute for a roll bowl to have those, but you don't have to. But how fun. I love that we added the blue little fabric around because, again, it ties it in with the fabric that we used in the center. And this was just a bit of scrap that we had. Not even a huge piece, not even a fat quarter. How wild is that? That is so cute. So let me know, are you guys gonna make one of these? Did you realize how easy it was? And don't forget that the Brother ScanNCut is available on our website, allbrands.com, as well as all 7 of our retail stores. Yes, 7. And of course, when you buy your ScanNCut through us, you do get my masterclass totally free. And I love that because nothing's more frustrating than getting a machine home, not knowing how to use it, and not having anyone there. So you get me in the box. So my masterclass is an online course that you can take at your own pace for however long you like, and that of course comes free only when you buy a ScanNCut through AllBrands, because I'm AllBrands. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. For all my friends that are coming to AllBrands Academy San Antonio, I'm just days away from getting to see you, and I'm so excited. So if you have not signed up for AllBrands Academy, there are 2 spots left in the Bossier City Academy, and then we'll be sold out for AllBrands Academy season for this run. So, all right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more of these videos. Y'all have a good night. Bye. Alrighty, so to start our bowl koozie, I want to say bowl koozie so bad. and then you weave